Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Today we're working with some Spellbinders products. We've got the Checkered Argyle embossing folder and we've got the Cozy Toes Slippers large die of the month for October 2024. I'm going to bring in the Merry Grinchmas and some farmhouse pattern paper that is from Cat Scrappiness, and we're going to be using it. We're going to use the pattern paper for our pajamas, and I've got my pajama leg here, and I'm just going to select pattern paper. We're going to do 3 cards, so I'm going to select 3 different pattern papers that we can do our 2 legs out of for each of the cards. So we'll have 6 legs total, 2 of each pattern. I've got my Scout here, and I'm just going to die cut out my pajama bottoms and lay them aside. So I've chosen this gift pattern here that we're going to use along with our Santa Claus slippers. And I'll just get it die cut out and laid aside. And then we'll move on to our next pattern, which I'm going to use this buffalo check, and we're going to use this to go along with our penguin slippers. And we'll get it die cut out. So today we took a turn for the cold. It was a little bit colder than what it has been. We've been getting up into the 70s, but we just barely got into the 60s today. So 60s is not cold, but a little bit cooler than what we have had. So, but we were able to get outside. It was sunny, and the kids did get to play outside on the scooters, and Pat was doing some yard work, and they love when he has out all his equipment. So they were following him around, watching him blow the gutters clean and blow the leaves in the yard and everything, and they were just chasing him around, watching every little thing that he did. So it was a good day. We got to spend a lot of time outside. They both got naps at the same time, early and short, so I didn't get a lot done during that, but anyway, I did find time to craft later. So here I've got all 3 of my pattern papers die cut out here. This striped one is going to be my reindeer. And so I'm going to lay this aside, and then we're going to pull all these dies off. We're going to be using all of them. This is the basis for the slipper, and it is a big slipper. And I'm going to just bring in some white cardstock that we're going to use on it. I'm going to pull off all of these other dies. I'm going to pick some pattern paper, whether it be, or cardstock. It'll be solid cardstock. I'm going to use white. We'll use some black. We'll use some red. We'll use some cream color that we'll color in over, and I'm just getting all my dies off here. Now there are dies in this set that I did not use. I'm not going to use the bunny today, and I'm not going to use the monster foot. So the bunny would be a great one for Easter, and the monster foot would be great for Halloween, I think. And then I'm going to use the sentiment. So I've got everything here. I've got all my cardstock laid out, and I have sped this up, and I'm just going to town die cutting out all of these things. So I'm getting all of the feet ready. I got all of the pajamas ready, and just getting everything die cut out. And then you'll notice that I'll only cut out one of the Santa faces, one of the penguin face, and one of the reindeer face. I just get going, and I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing, and so I only do one. And so I'll get, what I'm going to decide to do once I realize I've only done one is we will assemble one of our slipper pant legs with one of our slippers of each one, so that you can see me assemble each type, and then I'll go off camera and assemble the coordinating slipper and pajama pants, and then we'll come back and put our cards together. So I thought that would save time anyway. This is going to be a lengthy video because I'm going to do 3 cards. There's a considerable amount of die cutting and assembly, so it's going to be a little bit longer video. So I hope you'll stay with me because it's super cute. If you like all the little pieces and you like die cutting, this is definitely a video for you. So I'm going to use some cream cardstock, and I'm using scraps. This is a great one to pull in your scraps. I went to my Spellbinders scrap sleeve. I have a sleeve that I slide all my scraps into, and I just grabbed all of the scraps and all of the colors that I thought I would use. And this is a great one to use up those scraps on, because you can do a lot of, mostly all of the little slipper faces with all of your scraps. So, and I'm trying to leave this in there because I use this cream colored for my antlers and my deer insides of their ears, and I wanted to color them in, and I thought it would be easier if they stayed in the paper, but I'm kind of fussing with the ears a little bit. And I'm just going to put some pink ink down on it and get my inserts to my ears colored in, and then I'll just bring in a brown marker and I will color in the antlers. And I said on my live the other night I never use the chisel, and so today I thought I'm going to use the chisel and color these antlers in and just make quick work of it. So this is just one set of the antlers for just the one reindeer head that I have die cut out. Like I said, when I got going, I only did one of each, and so we're going to assemble one of each of these, and then we'll come back and have everything assembled together. So these two little pink kind of ovals, they just go right inside these ears, and I chose pink to use on that, and I thought it would be really cute. And so now I've got some other elements I had to die cut out, and it was kind of patchy, so I just went ahead and threw everything down and brought it in. These little pieces here that kind of have the tab on the top of them, those are your eyeballs. It's nice that Spellbinder included those. In the past, I've just cut some black strips of cardstock, but they've actually given you a strip for eyeballs. And I lifted that reindeer to show you there's real nice etched detail in there that shows you just right where to lay the start of that antler down on your reindeer's head. And so I'm just going to put a little glue on there and just get them laid right down there where those etchings are. And that's how we create our antlers on our reindeer. Now, I am eyeballing how it will lay on the slipper base. And there's this extra piece that you can die cut out. It actually, I think, lays with the eyes piece. And it looks similar to the fur that you put on Santa's hat. And I was just kind of eyeballing it. I'm not going to use it because I don't think it's necessary. And so I'm going to bring in my little, I'm showing you there that that's the piece. That's the piece that die cuts out the eye as well. But I'm going to lay it down on here. And first I'm going to attach my leg. So this little piece here is like your ankle. And I just used some cream colored cardstock. You could use dune, you could use brown, you could use pink, whatever color you want for your skin. I just used some light cream color because I had scraps of it. And I'm all about using the scraps. And so I'm laying the thinner part of the pant leg or pajama leg down on the ankle. And I'm going to grab the little nose for my little reindeer. And the example shows a little white dot behind that red nose. And so I'm using one of the cutouts from the die that you don't use, and I just snipped a little piece and I'm gluing it. You can't see I'm off camera, I think, a little bit there, and I'm just gluing it to the back of that red oval nose, and I'm going to get it laid down right there where the etching is that shows where your nose goes. And we'll get it laid right down on there. And then we'll layer our little reindeer on there, and this will be pajama pants 1 and slipper 1 for the deer. And then we'll move on to our next. I'm going to go ahead and same thing, assemble my ankle to my slipper base, and I'm going to grab my pajama pants. And I've got my present pajama pants, and I'm going to get it laid down on there. And then I'm going to start finding the pieces that I need for my Santa. And I'm realizing I've got his hat, his beard, his fluff to his hat, but I don't have his face die cut out. So I'm going in search of the die for it, and I found it. And I'm going to find just some pink scrap cardstock that I have and die cut out his face. So I'll just go off camera because I've got my die cutting machine over to the side, and I'll just die cut out his face. And then we'll be able to assemble our Santa. And we've got a red nose for him. And the Santa hat, actually, that die cuts out too. So it gets them both cut out for you. And one has the pom-pom going in one direction and the other has the pom-pom going in the other direction. So it does cut both pieces out there, along with both of the fur pieces for the hat. And so I've got my little beard here, and I just popped his little mouth out. I'm going to lay some glue down. And I think it would have been better to lay the beard down first. The second time I assemble it, I do lay the beard down first. But I'm going to just kind of finagle it and get the sides of the beard underneath my hat so that it looks just fine. And then I'm just kind of pulling it up close to me so I can get it laid, arranged on there nice, lining everything up. And then I'm going to find my little red nose, and I'll get his nose laid down there, and there is etch detail for that, so you know exactly where that nose goes. And I'm going to position it to where the little hole in the nose is overlapping the white so we can see some highlight on that. And then we've got our little eyes, and we're just going to take and get those laid down on there. And then this is how it lays on our slipper. So I'll just... I've decided, because I've got that really fluorescent green paper and the darker green, that for this one I'm actually going to color the sock in, and I'm going to color the base of the slipper in. And I thought that would just be kind of fun to add that and kind of make the base of the slipper and the sock a little bit different, so that it coordinates with our pajamas. And so I'm just bringing in some alcohol markers there, and I did the fluorescent sock, and then I'm just going to do the outer edge of the slipper because Santa's face is going to cover up the rest of it, so there won't be any need to color in the whole base of the slipper. So I'm just going to lay Santa down there flat with some glue. I just kind of got stung on a card today. Well, I didn't. My husband did. I had addressed a card and put it in an envelope and sent him to the post office with it, and it was like $4.92 to mail it because it had some pretty good dimension on it. And so he was like, oh, $5, you know. Anyway, so as I was doing this, I thought I'm going to not put as much dimension. And I'm saying that now, and I will use a foam for his hat, but the foam that I used on there was thicker than I liked. And so when it's all said and done, I actually remove that and then just glue my pom-pom down flat is what I do. But you have to be careful sometimes with that dimension if you're going to mail it, because it just cost my husband $4 and, what did I say, 92 cents to mail a single card, which was not good. Anyway, so I'm going to get my penguin's face together, and I just used the black onyx cardstock from Spellbinders, and I used the Dune, and I just cut out the little penguin's face. I could have went lighter. It could have been a white, but I thought the Dune would look cute on there, and so that's what I used. And I originally die cut out his little mouth with red because it was on something. It was on one of the dies that had something that I wanted red. Oh, the noses, the reindeer nose and the Santa nose also had the penguin mouth on it. So then I went ahead and die cut it out in white, just brought in an orange alcohol marker and colored it in. I did die cut out the earmuffs in red because I was trying to keep kind of red as a central theme in all three of my cards. There will be a little bit of difference in the color schemes, but the red I wanted to use throughout all of them. So I'm using red earmuffs for my little penguin. And we'll get them laid down on our little penguin's head. And your tweezers with these small pieces are your best friends when assembling these little bitty bits. And you can also use them to pinch stuff together as you're waiting for it to dry, which I'll do that with this one here because it wasn't quite sticking. And then I'm getting my slipper ready, and I like the contrast of the white base with the penguin's head. In addition, I'm using that black and white buffalo plaid paper for my pajamas, so I thought it would look nice with a white slipper base. So I'm just going to leave that one alone and get it laid down on there. And then we'll have all 3 of our single leg of pajamas put together. So I went off camera and put the other 2 together, so we've got all of our pajama bottoms and slippers ready to go, and now we can just start assembling our cards. And I'm just going to do a side folding A2 size card that I have made of my own. I buy Hammermill 110-pound cardstock, and I cut and score my own card bases. I don't buy pre-made card bases because I'm cheap and I like to make my own. So I took this black cardstock and I die cut out a sentiment strip right out of the middle because I'm going to use the Warm and Cozy Wishes sentiment on this one that came with the Cozy Toe Slippers die set. And then I also used the Checkered Argyle embossing folder for this one so that I would have a real nice background for it. And I'm just going to lay these 2 down on here. And for this one, I thought it would be cute if we were sitting there with our legs crossed with our slippers on. So that's what I've chosen to do with that one. And so I'm just going to cross them, and I'm going to get them laid down on there. Now, I didn't have any trouble layering on top of each other. It seemed to, I guess with the embossing folder and the different levels, it seemed to be, everything seemed to lay pretty level, and I wasn't really worried about adding any extra cardstock pieces as shims. I was just able to lay it all right down on there. I'm getting plenty of glue on here because it is an embossed panel. We'll get it laid down on. And I like the clean and simple look of this. I like all that white. I think it looks good. Just cleaning up some pieces of paper that are on there. And I've got my Warm Wishes, and I used that black strip that I cut out of the back of this panel, and I laid my red Warm and Cozy Wishes right on there. And I'm going to need some foam strips for and these are real light foam strips, and I'm just going to put them on either side of this sentiment so that since we're going to go over the 2 pajama pants that are doubled up there, we'll just do this and it will help our sentiment to lay flat. And we'll just pull off the release papers and get it laid down on here. So I've been helping the kids out. My husband and I have been helping the kids out a lot this week, extra, because they are working on getting the new siding on the house, still finishing up from the tornado that was, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago. The insurance was so slow to pay. They're so quick to take your money and so slow to pay your claims. In fact, we all moved away from this particular insurance company after, oh gosh, probably 30 years of using them for homeowners and everything, just because we were so dissatisfied with how they paid out everybody in the area that had trouble. Anyway, so they're getting this new siding on the house, and so my husband's been helping with that, and I've been helping with the kids a little bit more and kind of some things around the house just to kind of free them up so they can work on those projects. So finding craft time has been kind of a little bit scarce, but I'm keeping up, so I'm happy with that. And you can see this is beautiful double-side cardstock. This is not paper. It is actually premium cardstock, and it's really good stuff. So this is from Cat Scrappiness. I'll link it in the description box below. And all the pattern paper that I'm using today is Cat Scrappiness. And I've got 2 layers. I've got the green, the dark green panel that has the same pattern that this lighter panel has on it. And it has it in a real light green. And I thought it'd be nice to use those 2 together. And we're just going to get our little reindeer laid down on here. And for this one, I'm going to use more of the pajama legs than I am on the other 2. I will cut them down, but I'm not going to cut as much down on these. And I'm going to kind of stagger them like we've got one foot in front of the other. And you can see we've got the Grinch's dog on the back of this pattern paper here. And this is the Merry Grinchmas paper pack. Just kind of getting my glue cleaned up off the desk. And then we'll lay this panel down on our green, and we'll have a nice little frame around there. And just add some more glue. I'm still sticking with that small glue bottle that has the Bearly Art in it. Like I said on my other videos, I was kind of getting tired of messing with that glue press. It was clogging up, and I just was tired of having to unclog it every time I went to grab it. Even within minutes, it would clog. So I don't know. So now I'm going to bring in a sentiment, and I had previously better pressed the, I think it's called, let me look here real quick. It's called All Seasons Winter, and we've got Let It Snow, Snuggle Season, Snow Much Fun, Christmas Time, Sugar Plum Wishes, and Most Wonderful Time. I'm going to use Snuggle Season on this one because we've got our jammies and our slippers, and it's a great way to snuggle up in the winter. So we'll lay that down on there. And I already had it, and it was in green, and I thought that'll work nicely with the colors that I've chosen. And we're going to use another one of those sentiments on our Santa card. And we'll just use a red panel. And I again have embossed a white panel with the Argyle embossing folder. And I'll trim it down. I'm actually going to trim this one down smaller than I did the first one and the second one. I just consecutively got a larger frame around each of these 3 cards. I think the first one I did 4 by 5 1/4. The second one I did 3 3/4 by 5, and then I did 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 on this one. And for this one, we're just going to put our feet side by side, and we will still cut off some of that. Now, you don't have to cut it off for an A2 size panel, but I wanted to have these white or light frames for my slippers, so I decided to cut them down a little bit. And then keeping in mind, you can use all of these little faces for all different kinds of things. You can just do a background with Santa faces, or a background with reindeer or penguins or bunnies. You could do that. I was also thinking a lot of those Kindred card challenges, when you just have a circle area, these would be great to embellish the circle area on your Kindred card challenges. So that's an idea. Now for this one, I thought I'd just lay my Most Wonderful Time better press sentiment on here, kind of on an angle and just kind of wonky looking, and just get it laid down on there. And I didn't put any embellishments on the Santa or the reindeer. I suppose you could. I was just showing you the set that I used for this. But that'll finish off our 3 cards. And it's a good thing I was about to run out of daylight. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.